Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Savita Sharma from University of Delhi. Today we are going to talk on module Numerical Solution of Ordinary Equations Part 1 from the paper Mathematical Tools for Materials. So students, let us see what we are going to learn in this module. Methods for the numerical solution of ordinary differential equations will be introduced. Methods for the numerical solution of ordinary differential equation, in which the first differential equations will be taken up first and the Euler's method will be described. Error bounds for the Euler method are derived. Local truncation error is defined and calculated for Euler's method. Higher order Taylor methods are introduced. Runge-Kutta methods of order 2 and 4 are introduced. Finally, a system of first order differential equations and higher order differential equations are tackled. So, before going into detail, let's have some introduction. In engineering or physics, we come across numerous instances where the equations cannot be solved by any of the analytic methods. One approach is to make simplifying assumptions from the beginning. Even in the problem of a simple pendulum, we have to make the small amplitude approximation. This turns into a solvable equation for the harmonic oscillator. In quantum mechanics, it is essentially the hydrogen atom and the harmonic oscillator which are solved exactly. For most others, we have to resort a method that provide a numerical solution to the problem. Numerical methods do not provide solution of the problem in terms of analytic functions. We get a table of the value of the unknown function versus the independent variable. Very often, that is precisely what we want. First order differential equations. So what are the first order differential equations? These are the general form of the first order differential equation, which is f, which is a function of x, y and y prime is equals to 0. It can often be resolved for y prime, that is y prime is denoted for dy by dx, that is the derivative of y with respect to x, and written in the explicit form y prime equals to fxy. We are interested in the initial value problem for this equation, which is y prime equals to f of xy, where y at x equals to a is equals to a, and the x lies between the values a and b. Let's call this as equation number 1. Then the existence of solution will be a function fxy is said to satisfy a Lipschitz condition in the variable y on a set D subset of R square if a constant L greater than 0 exists with the property fxy1 minus fxy2 mod is less than equal to L mod y1 minus y2. Whenever ty1 and ty2 are in D, the constant L is called the Lipschitz constant for f. For example, f of xy, let's say, is equals to x square into mod of y, where x is less than equal to 2 and greater than equal to 1, while y is less than equal to 2 and greater than equal to minus 2. Then mod of fxy1 minus fxy2 is equals to mod of x square into y1 mod minus x square into y2 mod whole mod, which is equals to x square into mod of y1 mod minus y2 mod is less than equal to 4 into mod of y1 minus y2, which gives L equals to 4. Lemma 1. Suppose fxy is defined on a convex set D, that is a subset of R square, or which contains R square, if a constant L greater than 0 exists with del f by del y, where f is a function of xy, mod is less than equal to L for all xy belonging to D, then f satisfies a Lipschitz condition on D in the variable y with the Lipschitz constant L. The above lemma is a sufficient but not a necessary condition. In the above example, fy does not exist at y equal to 0, but f satisfy a Lipschitz condition. For example, let's say fxy is equals to y by x plus x into e to the power x, where x is less than equal to 2 and greater than equal to 1, and y is less than equal to 4 and greater than equal to 1. Then mod of del f by del y is equals to mod of 1 by x, which is less than equal to 1. Hence, y by x plus x into e to the power x satisfies Lipschitz condition over the specified domain with L equals to 1. Then there is a theorem. Suppose that D equals to mod of xy, where x is less than equal to b and greater than equal to a, and y is less than infinity and greater than minus infinity, and that f of ty is continuous on D. If f satisfies a Lipschitz condition on D in the variable y, then the initial value problem y prime x equals to fxy, y at x equals to a is equal to a, where x lies between a and b. This equation has a unique solution yt for t less than equal to b and greater than equal to a. For example, y prime of x equals to 1 plus x into sine of xy, y at x equals to 0 is equals to 1, where x lies between 0 and 2. Now, if fxy is equals to 1 plus x into sine of xy, then mod of fy is equals to x square into mod of cos xy, which is less than equal to 4. So, f satisfies a Lipschitz condition in the variable y with L equals to 4. Additionally, f of ty is continuous when t is less than equal to 2 and greater than equal to 0, and y lies between minus infinity to infinity. Hence, a unique solution exists to this initial value problem. Euler's method. Euler's method is the most elementary approximation technique for solving initial value problems. But now, rarely they are used in practice. It is simple to understand and illustrates the techniques involved. Let us choose a positive integer capital N and select the mesh points xi equals to a plus iota h for each I varying from 0 to capital N. Then h equals to b minus a divided by n, which is equals to x of ith plus 1 minus x ith is the step size. Basically, the method is one of the Taylor's expansion, which states that y into x of I plus 1 is equal to y xi plus xi plus 1 minus xi into y prime of xi plus x of I plus 1 minus xi whole square by 2 y double prime of xi I, where xi I lies between xi plus 1 and xi. This equation can be written as y of xi plus h into y prime of xi plus h square by 2 y double prime of xi I, which gives equation number 2. In the Euler method, the remainder term is dropped. Let this approximation to the true solution be called ui. Then u0 is equal to a, ui plus 1 is equal to ui plus h into f of xi ui, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1. Let this be the equation number 3. So now let's take an example where y prime equals to minus 2x minus y, and it is given that y at x equals to 0 is equal to minus 1 and step size, which is h, is equals to 0.1. Then we can write u1 as u naught plus h into f of x naught u naught, which gives u naught plus h into minus 2x naught minus u naught, which gives out the value minus 0.9. Similarly, we can calculate u2, which comes out to be minus 0.83. Then u3, which is again similar, like u2 plus h into f of x2 u2, which after solving gives the value minus 0.787, and so on u4 as minus 0.7683, and u5, which is minus 0.77147. So the exact solution is y equals to 2 into 1 minus x minus 3 e to the power minus x, which gives that y at x equals to 0.5 approximately gives minus 0.820. That is an error of more than 6%. Now let us study the error bounds for Euler's method. Although Euler's method is not accurate enough for the actual practice use, it is sufficiently simple for error analysis. For this purpose, we need a few results from analysis. Lemma 2 is for all x greater than equal to minus 1 and any positive m, 1 plus x to the power m is less than equal to e to the power mx and greater than equal to 0. Lemma 3 is if s and t are positive numbers, then ai to the superscript k, that means I varying from 0 to k, is sequenced with a naught greater than equal to minus t by s, and ai plus 1 is less than equal to 1 plus s into ai equals to t, where I varies from 0 to k minus 1. Then we can write ai plus 1 is less than equals to e to the power I plus 1 into s into a naught plus t by s minus t by s. Now let's study the theorem. It states that suppose f is continuous and satisfies Lipschitz condition on d equals to xy by a is less than equal to x less than equal to b and y varies from minus infinity to infinity, and that a constant m exists such that so then y double prime is less than equals to m, where x lies between a and b. Let the approximations generated by Euler's method be denoted by u0, u1 till un. Then for each I equals to 0 to n, mod of y xi minus ui is less than equal to h into m divided by 2l into e to the power l xi minus a minus 1. Now let's prove this theorem. The result is clearly true for I equal to 0. On writing y at xi equals to yi, and we have from equations 2 and 3 from the previous slides as y I plus 1 minus u I plus 1 equals to yi minus ui plus h into f of xi yi minus f of xi ui plus h square by 2 y double prime zi, which gives mod of y I plus 1 minus ui plus 1 less than equals to yi minus ui plus h into mod of f xi yi minus f xi ui plus h square by 2 into y double prime zi. Now f satisfies a Lipschitz condition in the second variable with constant L, and mod of y double prime x is less than equal to m. Hence, yi plus 1 minus ui plus 1 mod is less than equals to 1 plus h into L into mod of yi minus ui plus h into mod of f of xi yi minus f of xi ui plus h square m by 2. Now we use lemma 3 with s is equal to hl, x equals to h square m by 2, aj equals to mod of vj minus uj, where j varies from 1 to n. Then mod of yi plus 1 minus ui plus 1 is less than equals to e to the power I plus 1 into hl into mod of y naught minus u naught plus h into m by 2l whole bracket close minus h into m by 2l. Since y naught minus u naught mod is equals to 0 and I plus 1 into h equals to x of j plus 1 minus x naught equals to x of j plus 1 minus a, then we obtain mod of yi plus 1 minus u I plus 1 mod is less than equals to h into m by 2l into e to the power x I plus 1 minus a into l minus 1, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1. To apply this theorem, the bound for the second derivative of the solution has to be known. However, if del f by del t and del f by del y both exist, then y double prime equals to del f by del x plus del f by del y into fxy. So, it is at times possible to obtain an error bound for y double primes without explicitly knowing y of t. Let us study about the total truncation error. This error may be called the global truncation error. According to the error bound formula, the bound depends linearly on the step size h. Consequently, diminishing the step size should improve accuracy correspondingly. However, the effect of round off errors is not accounted for in this result. The round off error is inversely proportional to the step size h, hence there is an optimum size for which the error is minimum. Local truncation error is one of the methods for comparing efficacy of various approximation methods. Consider the initial value problem dy by dx or y prime equals to fxy, where y at x equals to a is equals to alpha, where x lies between b and a. If the approximate solution is provided by the difference equation u naught is equal to a, then ui plus 1 will be equals to ui plus h into g of xi into ui for I varying from 0, 1, 2 to n minus 1. Then the local truncation error is delta I plus 1 into h equals to bracket start y I plus 1 minus yi plus h into g xi yi bracket close, which is equals to yi plus 1 minus yi minus h into g xi yi, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1. Let's call it as equation number 4. Various sources give different definitions of local truncation error. So, one should be careful while referring to literature. The number of steps required to reach x equal to b, starting with x equal to a, is n equals to b minus a divided by h. Hence, if the local truncation error of any method is OH double prime, then the total error is OH double prime minus 1. For example, for the Euler method, the function g equals to f. Hence, on using the equation number 2, delta I plus 1 into h equals to yi plus 1 minus yi plus h into g xi yi equals to yi plus 1 minus yi minus h into f xi into yi, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1, which equals to h square by 2 y double prime xi, where xi lies between the xi plus 1 and xi. If y double prime is bounded by m on AB, then delta I plus 1 h is less than equals to h square m by 2 is approximately equal to OH square. High order Taylor methods. Since Euler's method was derived by using Taylor's theorem with n equals to 1, our first attempt at higher accuracy will be to use higher order Taylor expansions. Suppose the solution to the initial value problem, equation 1, has continuous derivatives up to order n plus 1, then we can make Taylor expansion of the solution yx up to order n. That is, y into xi plus 1 equals to yxi plus h into y prime xi plus h to the power n divided by n factorial y n xi plus h to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 factorial into y nth plus 1 xi I, where xi I lies between xi plus 1 and xi. The difference equation method is obtained by deleting the remainder term and replacing yi by the approximate solution ui. Hence, for the Taylor's method of order n, we have error in the Taylor's method. Error in the Taylor's method. ui plus 1 equals to ui plus hf xi ui plus h square by 2 factorial f prime of xi ui plus h to the power n upon n factorial fn minus 1 xi ui. I varies from 0 to n minus 1, which gives ui plus h into t to the power n xi ui, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1. Then t to the power n xi ui equals to f of xi ui plus h upon 2 factorial f prime xi ui plus so on till the term h n by h to the power n minus 1 divided by n factorial f n minus 1 xi ui. So error in the Taylor's method is if y has continuous derivatives of order up to n plus 1, the local trication error of Taylor's method is of the order n is o h to the power n plus 1. Now let's prove this. Take all the terms in equation 5 to the left except the last error term. So we can write as y xi plus 1 minus y xi minus hf xi y xi minus and so on till h to the power n by n factorial into f to the power n minus 1 xi y xi, which equals to h to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 factorial f to the power n xi I y xi I. On using the definition 4 of the local truncation error, for the Taylor's method we get the result delta I plus 1 h equals to yi plus 1 minus yi minus h tn xi ui, which is equals to h to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 factorial multiplied by f to the power n xi I into y of eta I. Since y has continuous derivatives of order up to n plus 1, so y n plus 1 x equals to fn x comma y of x, which is bounded on a b. Hence, delta I h is approximately equals to o h to the power n plus 1, where I equals to or I varies from 1 to n. Higher order Taylor methods are rarely used in practice. These methods require the evaluation of derivatives of the function f up to order n minus 1. Evaluation of derivatives is a difficult and time consuming job. What we need are methods that have a high order local truncation error but do not need evaluation of derivatives of higher order. Runge-Kutta methods. Runge-Kutta methods have a high order local truncation error but do not need evaluation of derivatives of f. Let's discuss the Taylor's theorem in two variables. Suppose fxy and all its partial derivatives up to order n plus 1 exist and are continuous in the domain d equals to xy mod xy a or xy where x varies from or which x is less than equal to b and greater than equal to a, y is less than equal to d and greater than equal to c. Also, x naught y naught interval depends and contained in d, belongs to d. Then for every xy belonging to d, there exists xi between x and x naught and tau between y and y naught, where with fxy equals to pn xy plus qn xy. So pn xy can be written as f x naught y naught plus x minus x naught del f x naught y naught by del x plus y minus y naught del f x naught y naught by del y, and so on. Runge-Kutta method for order 2. q and xy is equals to summation I equal to 0 to n plus 1 upon I factorial n plus 1 minus I factorial x minus x naught to the power n plus 1 minus I y minus y naught to the power I delta n plus 1 f of xi tau divided by del x to the power n plus 1 minus I del yi. The function Pn xy is called the Taylor polynomial in two variables. For the function f about x0 y0 and q and xy is the associated remainder term. Runge-Kutta methods of order 2. The purpose is to reduce local truncation error without involving the derivatives of f. This is achieved by evaluating f not only at xi, yi but at some intermediate points as well. For Runge-Kutta method of order 2, we determined alpha 1, a1 and beta 1 such that a1 into f of x plus alpha 1 y of y plus beta 1 approximates t to the power 2xy equals to f of xy plus h by 2 f prime of xy with error no greater than o h square. Now, f prime of xy can be written as del f by del x plus del f by del y into dy by dx, which is equals to del f by del x plus f into del f by del y. So, t of the order of 2xy can be written as or equals to f of xy plus h by 2 bracket starts del f by del x plus f del f by del y. On expanding f of x plus alpha 1 and y plus beta 1 in Taylor series of order 1, we can write as a1 into f of x plus alpha 1 y plus beta 1 equals to a1 into bracket starts f of xy plus alpha 1 del f by del x plus beta 1 del f by del y plus q1 x into y. And further, q1 xy can be written by rearranging the equation 1 by 2 alpha 1 square del square f xi eta by del x square plus alpha 1 beta 1 del square f zeta tau by del x del y plus 1 by 2 beta 1 square del square f zeta tau by del y squares, where eta lies between x plus alpha 1 and x and tau lies between y plus beta 1 and y. And comparing the coefficients of f, fx and fy in the two equations we obtained, a1 is equal to 1, alpha 1 is equal to h by 2, beta 1 is equals to h by 2 into f. Putting these back into the above equations, we have t to the order of 2xy equals to f of x plus h by 2 y plus h by 2 into fxy minus q1 x plus h by 2 y plus h by 2 into f of xy. Now let us discuss the modified Euler's method. Q of x plus h by 2 y plus h by 2 of xy equals to h square by 8 del square f xi eta by del x square plus h square by 2 f of f into del square f by eta xi upon del x by del y plus h square by 8 f square del square f eta xi divided by del y square. The error term q1 for Runge-Kutta method of order 2 is oh square if all the second order derivatives are bounded. The Runge-Kutta method of order 2 is also known as the midpoint method. The rule for the midpoint method is therefore u0 is equals to alpha, ui plus 1 will be equals to ui plus h f of xi plus h by 2 ui plus h by 2 into f of xi ui, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1. So the modified Euler method, only three parameters are present in a1 into f of x plus alpha 1 y plus beta 1 and all are needed in the match with t to the power 2. So a more complicated form is required to satisfy the conditions for any of the higher order Taylor methods. For matching, equation 22. For matching the power 3xy equals to fxy plus h by 2 f prime xy plus h square by 6 f double prime xy, the most appropriate 4-parameter form is a1 fxy plus a2 f of x plus alpha 2 plus y plus beta 2 into fxy. Even this provides a method of order h square only, since all the terms cannot be matched. Because of 4 parameters, there is a flexibility in this method. Then this can be exploited to obtain many OH square methods. One of these is the modified Euler method, which results when we choose A1 equals to A2 equal to 1 by 2, alpha 2 equals to beta 2 is equals to H. So U naught is equal to alpha, Ui plus 1 will be equal to Ui plus H by 2 into f of xi Ui plus into f of xi plus 1 Ui plus hf xi Ui, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1. Runge-Kutta method of order 4. Runge-Kutta methods of order 3 are not generally used. The most widely used is the Runge-Kutta method of order 4. Derivation of higher order Runge-Kutta methods involve tedious algebraic manipulation. So we skip the proof of the method and simply quote the result below as U naught equals to alpha. Then Ui plus 1 will be equals to Ui plus 1 by 6 into K1 plus twice of K2 plus twice of K3 plus K4, where I varies from 0 to n minus 1. So K1 will be equals to H into f of xi Ui and K2 is equals to H of f xi plus H by 2 Ui plus K1 by 2. K3 equals to H into f xi plus H by 2 plus Ui plus K2 by 2. And K4 will be equals to H into f of xi plus H Ui plus K3. This method has local truncation error OH to the power 5 provided the solution has continuous derivatives of order up to 5. Let us discuss now the computational aspects. The main computational effort in applying Runge-Kutta method is the evaluation of f. The second and fourth order methods need 2 and 4 function evaluations per step. So the local truncation error are OH square and OH to the power 4. Table given here shows the relationship between the number of evaluations and total truncation error. The table indicates why the method of order less than 5 with smaller step size are preferable to the higher order methods using a larger step size. Let us discuss now the system of differential equations. The Runge-Kutta method of order 4 requires 4 evaluations of the function per step, whereas Euler's method requires only 1 evaluation. Hence, if the Runge-Kutta method of order 4 is to be superior, it should give more accurate answers than Euler's method with 1/4 the step size. System of differential equations and higher order differential equations. A set of m first order initial value problems in m unknowns has the form dy1 by dx equals to f1 x y1 y2 till ym. Similarly, we can write dy2 by dx, dy3 by dx and dym by dx as f of m x1 x into x comma y1 y2 till ym, where y at x equals to a is alpha 1, y2 at x equals to a is alpha 2 and so on till ym at x equals to a is alpha m. Higher order differential equation. K of 1 I is equals to h into fi, which is a function of xj, u1, u2, j and so on till um comma j. Then k2i is equals to h into fi xj plus h by 2 comma u1j plus 1 by 2 k 1 1 and u2j plus half of k12 and so on till umj plus 1 by 2 k1m. Similarly, we can write the expression for k3i and k4i. In higher order differential equation, many important problems involve differential equations having orders higher than 1. An equation of order n can be reduced to a system of n first order equations. A general initial value problem for nth order differential equation is y and x is equals to f x y y prime and so on till y to the power n minus 1, where x lies between a and b. Y at x equals to a is equal to alpha 1, y prime of a is equals to alpha 2 and so on y to the power n minus 1 a is a n. So this can be converted into a system of first order equations by defining a new set of variables. Z1x is equal to yx, Z2x is equal to y prime of x and so on Znx is equal to y to the power n minus 1 x. This leads to the set of equations dz1 by dx is equal to y prime x is equal to z2x, dz2 by dx is equal to y double prime of x is equal to z3x, and so on. We get dzn by dx is equals to y to the power nx, which gives f of x z1 z2 n till zn, where z1a is equal to a1, z2a is equal to a2, and so on, zn a is equal to an. We see that these equations are exactly of the same form as per a set of first order equations with m to n and y to z. So f1 x y1 y2 till yn is called as z1, and so on, f of n minus 1 x y1 y2 till yn is denoted by zn minus 1. We can therefore apply the method developed above for a system of m first order equations. So students, let us now summarize what we have learnt in this module. In this unit, we describe methods for the numerical solution of ordinary differential equations that was studied earlier. We first take up methods for first order differential equations. We began with the simplest, the Euler's method. Though not much used in practice, we describe it in detail as it is easy to analyze. We derive the error bounds for the Euler method. We define the local truncation error and find it for Euler's method, for which it is OH2. We next introduce higher order Taylor methods as a means to improve on the error, but to apply them higher order derivatives need to be calculated. Thank you.